Welcome to Make Gains, a channel where we break down money, mindset, and moves you can make to level up your life. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If you like this type of content, I ask you please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to our first 1,000 subscribers, so you would really help us out to do that. Today, we're going to be talking about living paycheck to paycheck. Let's get into it.
I'm so tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I just waited for the mailman to show up so I could get my paper check in the mail that I've been waiting for weeks, so I could come to the bank and deposit it. But because I have negative money in my account, I'm only going to get like a little bit of it because I can only access $100 for the first day. So I'm probably going to have like $60 today. I haven't gone grocery shopping in probably a month. We have like no food to eat for dinner except for like mac and cheese and ramen. I have $300 electric bill that's overdue. My phone bill's overdue. I just gave my husband my last paycheck from last week so we could pay the mortgage 2 weeks late. And in 10 days or 11 days, the mortgage for next month is due. So it's like this paycheck isn't even like, why do I even have it? Like they might as well take my paycheck and just send it to all my bills. Like what's the point in me even getting my paycheck? It's like annoying. Like I'm not going to see it anyway. Not only that, but in like 3 weeks, I have to pay for summer camp because school's almost over. So it's like, that's another $700-800 that I have to come up with to pay for summer camp. And if I don't pay for summer camp, guess who can't work because their kid is going to be at home with them? Me. So obviously that's going to be like a major to-do. Like I can't not pay summer camp. Not only do I have a personal loan and medical bills up the wazoo, like literally I have like a bill for like $3,000 from the hospital. I have like an $8,000 personal loan that was a consolidation loan from like a bunch of loans that I had. I haven't paid them in like 7 months. I owe them so much money. They call me like twice a day, dude. Like collections calls. And all I'm doing every day is doing my best. And I literally can't get ahead. Like I can't get ahead. I wake up and I work. And these people are after me for money. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally trying my best. What do you want from me? And like, I'm a painter. Like I have a ladder in the back of my car. I'm a painter, right? So like today, I literally didn't have enough tools to do my job. And I was like, I can't do this right now. Like I'm so stressed. I literally can't. I can't do this anymore.
That is a really difficult place to be. And if you've ever been in that spot where you are living paycheck to paycheck and you're relying on your check just to get you through and to be able to pay your bills for the month, it is a situation of despair. And I don't wish that on anybody, but you've got to be really intentional to get out of it. And it is hard. I mean, I've been there where I didn't know how I was going to pay the bills this month, but what happens in that cycle is you end up using a credit card, you end up borrowing money from somewhere else, and that stuff just snowballs. So you've got to reverse engineer it. You got to start paying the stuff off slowly. You got to start spending less. And like she said, working that overtime, trying to get as much in as you can, because if you don't, then it is a never-ending cycle.
Okay, but tell me why I'm working overtime and I'm still freaking broke. And now don't get me wrong, I make good money. I make over $25 an hour. But I do have 3 kids and a wife, and let me tell you, leading a family is financially stressful. I work all the overtime I'm allowed to get. Anytime I can get any overtime, I always work it. But no matter how much overtime I work, it doesn't seem like this paycheck to paycheck thing will ever end. And that's just something that I deal with and I kind of internalize and I don't talk about. But I can't be the only one that feels this way, right? I mean, surely there are other people out there who are tired of just getting by, man. Like when I was in high school just 10 years ago, like $10 or $12 an hour was really good money. And I remember thinking if I could just get out and make $15 an hour, I'm set. I'll have a good savings. I'll be able to afford a house, a car. I'm 29 years old. And though some of it is, actually, I would say a lot of it is because of some of the decisions I made in my teenage years and early adulthood. A lot of why I don't have a house is because of the economy and how shit is just expensive. Like I don't know. It's disgusting to be honest. Like just to live and not have any money to do anything with. If you agree, let me know in the comments. But what are we doing about it? That's another thing. Instead of complaining about it, what are we doing about it? Let me know some side hustles.
I think everybody agrees with them. I mean, it is a tough spot to be young and have kids. I mean, I'm there. I have 3 children, they're about to be teenagers and they're expensive and they want to do things and we can't let them do everything they want to do because that costs money. Just like we are budgeting, we ask them to budget. Hey, here's what we'll allow for you to do summer camps or activities. And that's something where we have to make choices. So you might not do this camp because you want to do this other camp. You got to have perspective on those kind of things, but at the same time, be working towards your goals constantly. And the moment you stop is when you have that month where you go over by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's so important to keep track and keep doing those, like he mentioned, side hustles. If you can do something to put yourself in a better spot, do it.
Hey, friend. Am I the only one who feels like I will never be able to stop living paycheck to paycheck? Like, I go to work, I budget, I cut corners, I stretch every dollar, and I'm still sitting here wondering how I'm going to make it to next payday. It's exhausting. Like, groceries are high, bills are constant, and don't even get me started on trying to give my kids a decent life in all of this. I mean, the economy we're living in is straight up trash. The jobs we work barely cover the basics, and we're expected to smile and be grateful for it. I'm tired of pretending everything's fine when it's not. Tired of pretending like I'm not anxious every time I swipe my card. I don't want to just survive. I want to live. But right now, living paycheck to paycheck feels like a life sentence.
It feels like a life sentence. And for many people, it is. We have to break free of those habits that got us there. I'm involved a lot in some of these finance groups on Facebook or Reddit, those kind of things. And it's amazing because you'll hear people that make $200,000 that feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. And then there are people who are making $60,000 who feel like they're living their best life because they're able to budget and they're able to save and they're going to be able to retire. So it's not always about having more, making more. It's about doing the best you can with what you have. And that does mean sacrifices. So if you want to live your best life now, you might not get to live your best life later. Dave Ramsey says that live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. And I think that's very true. We have to keep that in mind.
Made 10 DoorDashes in the last 2 hours. And guess how much I made? Guess. After gas, I made a whopping $24.76. Not even a full $25. Like, I can't even get my own food DoorDashed for $25. Okay? When I moved to Cali from Texas last year, I really thought that I was going to be living my California dream. I got my full-time job. I got health insurance, benefits, all of that stuff, all of the things that I thought that I needed to live a comfortable life. And it just feels like I can never make ends meet. Like, I'm literally clocking into my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5. Hold on, girl. I got to order. And I'm just so frustrated because I feel like I've done everything right. Like, I went to school, I got my degree, I got a job, but like with rent and bills and student loans and groceries and gas, like it just feels like I just cannot get ahead.
Yeah, that's hard. I think though, what you got to hear there is she moved from Texas to California to be able to live her California lifestyle. And for most people, that's not the case. You're going to be better off if you can move to a spot where there's lower cost of living versus the spot where it's higher cost of living. Because in California, that $25 is not going to go very far, but Florida is going to be better. In Georgia, it's going to be better. And there are a lot of places where cost of living is lower and your money can go almost twice as far. You got to be very intentional about it, but it's possible.
A recent study came out that 47% of Americans who make $150,000 a year to $200,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, some of you are thinking, how in the crap does that happen? If I was making $200,000, I would be fine. And it just proves the point, you guys, that so much of personal finance, it's your behavior, it's your habits. I mean, lifestyle creep, it's a real thing. When you're used to living at $100,000 and then you make 120, you get used to that. And then you get used to 140 and it keeps going up. Regardless of how much money you make, your habits really do form around your income. And so that's why you have to be so careful. So don't always have hope that just because my income goes up, I'm going to be okay. Because the truth is, if you have bad habits and you make more money, you're just going to make bigger and bigger mistakes. But if you have great money habits and you make more income, then that's a blessing because it's going to be used to your advantage.
She's exactly right. This is what we've been talking about, guys. This is all about your habits. So if you make more money and you choose to spend all that money to live your best life, then you're going to be in the same situation that you were a year ago. And you're going to look back and go, how do I get out of this? Well, you've got to make the decisions to be better. You've got to be better. You got to spend less. I know that might seem impossible, but if you don't do a budget, then you will never be able to see it. If you don't track your spending, you'll never be able to see it.
Paycheck to paycheck, this is the easiest way you can break that cycle. You can only stop living paycheck to paycheck by changing the way you manage your money. So the first thing you're going to do is write down every penny you spend for 30 days. Then look at your monthly income and subtract your expenses to get the amount that you should have left over every month. If this number is negative, you're living above your means, so you need to either increase your income, decrease your expenses, or both. Look at your expenses and see what can be lowered or eliminated, and increase your income with side jobs or extra shifts until this number turns positive. Then every extra dollar should go into an emergency fund with the goal of saving between $1,000 and 1 month of expenses. 1 month of expenses will get you 1 month ahead on all of your bills and create a nice buffer so you aren't waiting for Friday before you can do the things you want to do or pay your bills. This doesn't happen overnight, but the only way to get out of this cycle is to get a little bit ahead, so take it one paycheck at a time and actively work on reducing expenses where you can to make sure that you are living within your means.
You don't need a fancy spreadsheet to do this. You can use a piece of paper, write down everything you spend, and subtract it from what comes in. So your expenses are coming out of your income. Once you subtract your expenses from your income, if that number isn't positive, then you've got to make some changes. You have to. So you either have to make more money or you have to spend less. And that's a really difficult thing. But until you really sit down and start tracking it, then you're never going to know. You're never going to know. And you can live in ignorance all you want, look back and complain. But if you really want to make gains, this is what you have to do. And you got to do that hard work. But once you start doing it and you, like she said, you save that first 1 month. And once you can get 1 month ahead, it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders because you can finally breathe a little bit. And you know that if something happens, you're going to be okay. And that's where we want to get to. We don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. We don't have to. So keep making gains. Keep tracking your expenses. And guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It'll help us out tremendously. Also, write in the comments, what's your thoughts? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? What did you do to get out of it? You got any tips on those side hustles we were talking about? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.